Welcome to the Daily for Tuesday, March 12th with Simon Borg. I'm Jason Segini. We're going to start up in Seattle where Champions League action tonight. Tigres coming to town to take on the Sounders, Simon, but this is not the same Tigres team that they faced in round one of the quarterfinal.
You're right, Jason, but let's set it up. 1-0, Tigres has a lead in the aggregate goal series. Seattle now has to overturn that in Seattle. But like you said, Tigres coming with a B team, as they're known to do in this competition when traveling on the road. They got 2 draws in the group stage while traveling a B team. And Soccer America broke down the numbers here of the 16 players that Tuca Ferretti brought over. Of those 16, a total number of 4 starts among all players in the current Mexican League season, including 3 U20 players. So to me, the stakes are even higher. It's not just about a berth in the semifinal. It's about MLS pride. Can Seattle beat a Mexican side's B team?
All right, we'll see if the weather will play a factor. It's supposed to be raining up there in Seattle, so there will be a slick turf, of course. 10 p.m. Eastern time, that game on Fox Soccer Channel. And one other note about the Seattle Sounders. If you've been watching the Daily, you've certainly been following the Obafemi Martins story. Yesterday, he tweeted out that he is a member of the Seattle Sounders. Then he retracted that tweet, said there's still some details to go. We have plenty of coverage of this story on MLSsoccer.com, including comments from Adrian Hanauer, the GM of the Seattle Sounders. So stay tuned to MLSsoccer.com. We'll follow this story all day. Some news yesterday coming out of the Twitter takeover. Jurgen Klinsmann taking over the U.S. soccer handle on Twitter. And Simon, he was pretty much PC about the Landon Donovan issue. And when asked what's going to happen when Landon Donovan comes back, he said he'll be evaluated like any other player. But there were some other tidbits that came out of this.
Very interesting updates, Jason. First, Clint Dempsey back in training. He says they'll be ready for the second leg against Inter Milan in the Europa League. Steve Cherundolo also back in training. Fabian Johnson, who suffered an injury, missed his team's game, Hoffenheim's game over the weekend, is apparently good to join us in Denver, according to Klinsmann. People worrying about the goalkeeping situation, Tim Howard's injury, and Klinsmann was asked about Brad Guzan. He says that we are confident he will step up. The last 2 tidbits. He listed Sporting Kansas City Soccer Stadium. It's one of the top 5 stadiums in America. And lastly, he says if he has to choose between turf and grass, if I have the choice, I always prefer grass.
All right, he also mentioned that he was going to hold off on choosing a roster for the upcoming qualifiers until after the weekend, so stay tuned. We'll have that when it comes out. Time now for your weekly Castrol Index update. And at the top of the list this week, a little bit of a surprise. Goalkeeper Matt Reese from the New England Revolution put on a great performance to hold on to a shutout on the road and get their first win.
Finishing out the list, Jason, Kenny Miller, a deserved number 2 spot for him. He had a great game in Vancouver's win against Columbus. You have Osvaldo Minda, who had a surprise goal against FC Dallas, the go-ahead goal, followed by Troy Perkins in Montreal. He had a big game in Montreal's win in Portland. And lastly, Amobi Akugo. A monster game in the back at Central Defense, but also got a goal for Philly.
If you missed it yesterday, Extra Time Radio is available on the site, Stitcher Radio, Buzzsprout, or iTunes. A good show. Ryan Nelson on the show to talk about the first big win for Toronto FC. And, of course, Davy Arnaud talking about Montreal's hot start. Simon, what did you take out of the show?
Davy Arnaud saying that he knows MLS and what he sees from this Impact squad. They have what it takes, not only to make the playoffs, but to be playing in that last game, MLS Cup.
All right, stay tuned to MLSsoccer.com. You can also check out Power Rankings today. I know fans love to chew on those. We'll be back on the Daily tomorrow.